professional kayak fishing tournaments? Do they exist? Will they ever exist? Let's talk about it. One topic that always gets a lot of momentum on forums, social media, message boards, whatever, is the topic of professional anything kayak. So we're talking specifically about professional tournament trails right now, but before we even get into that, let's define professional. We can argue about that all day, about what defines a professional angler or a professional trail or whatever. Professional angler, we're going to put that to the side. Certainly there are already professional kayak anglers. They're not making their living from tournament winnings, but they are making a living in the industry through sponsorships, etc. So hats off to anyone that's living that professional kayak angler life. There's not that many of them, but you're definitely doing it, so there you go. But there are no professional kayak fishing tournament series or trails, and I don't think we're really close to having one. So if I'm going to define a professional tournament trail, it's something that you're going to have to qualify to get into. You're going to have a higher entry fee, which is going to translate into higher competition. We don't have that right now. All our tournament circuits, even the Hobie Bass Open Series, which is kind of the pinnacle of tournaments, is wide open. Anybody can pay the entry fee. You could have bought a kayak yesterday and boom, you can go sign up and fish a Hobie Bass Open Series event. Also, you only have to fish, or their Angler of the Year system only uses 3 out of 9 events. The Bassmaster Kayak Series uses 4 out of 5 events. I think KBF's uses 3 out of 20-something events. So there's no real commitment asked for from the anglers. Just fish 3 events and you have a chance to even win their Angler of the Year system. But the main thing is they're all open events. Right now, we've got Hobie at the top of the kayak series, really, as our quote elite series, even though it's still open. We got the Bassmaster Kayak Series, KBF, and the All-American Series kind of vying for those next 3 spots. But none of them are truly a professional series. They're all still opens. I know when we look at things from our perspective as kayak fishermen, kayak tournament fishermen, we think everything's a big deal. We hype all the big tournaments. We get excited about watching our friends in the big tournaments if we're not going. But if you look at it from a 30,000 foot view of the sport, they're all opens. And that's just the way it is. We have to be real with ourselves and realize we got a long way to go before we have a professional series in place, and maybe even are ready to have a professional series in place. From the industry perspective, I don't know if they even care if we ever get to a professional level. Old Town is still selling boats to you whether there's a professional tour or not. Spro, Shimano, all these different companies are still selling you the same gear, the same lures, the same terminal tackle, whether there's a professional kayak series or not. Now, would they get behind one if one was done right and thrown into the mix? I'm sure they would, because the numbers of anglers total are there. But right now, they get us plenty of exposure on the bass boat side, and they don't have to have a professional kayak series to keep selling products to us. We're going to buy them anyway. So what's it going to take to create this? Well, it's going to take an investment of time and money. The first thing they're going to have to do is somebody's going to have to figure out the video and media coverage of these events. And for that pro series to take off the correct way, it's probably going to have to be small, a smaller field, 75 to 125 anglers max. That way you can have the technology on board to be able to at least get some live coverage. If not live coverage, have cameras on enough boats to put together some sort of post-production show about the event. People aren't really in the know about what it takes to transmit a quality live stream, but it is very, very, very expensive to just have one of those setups on a bass boat. So the logistics of having a camera boat or multiple camera boats following around kayaks to pull that signal, I don't know who's willing to throw that money in right now. I don't think we're there. And I know there's some series out there that have attempted to do this with like cell phone camera videos, and I know the KFL is doing this, but that ain't it. It's choppy video. We're looking at crotch shots and some over the shoulder shots, people broadcasting from their truck cabs. I'm not throwing stones. I'm just saying that's not, hats off to y'all for hustling and trying to make that happen. But I'm talking about high quality studio production level stuff to be called, you want to be professional, you want to be called professional, you got to look professional. Number 2 is going to take an angler commitment, and I don't think we have the angler population to get 75 to 125 folks to throw down a bunch of money to commit to a full pro season. If we had 8 events, let's say, and they were $1,000 a piece, do we have that many people that would front $8,000, which is still a bargain? If we're talking on the boat side, Bassmaster Opens to try to go to a pro series, that's not even the pro series, to try to get there are $1,800 a piece. So if we had a kayak series that was $1,000 a piece for 8 events, $8,000 a piece, how many do you realistically think we get? Even though there's thousands and thousands of kayak anglers across the country, maybe there's a couple dozen that would commit to that. So I don't know that we have the angler population of people that have the time or the money to pull that off and make it happen. And like I've kind of alluded to already, we're going to have a qualification process to get away from these opens and have a true set field that is fed by either invites the first time around or a qualification system that leaves a feeder system in place for years going forward, kind of like Bass has, MLF has on or BPT has on their side, to where they have multiple circuits running, one feeds the other, if that makes sense. Overall, I mean, the outlook on kayak fishing is fantastic. This isn't a doom and gloom thing. I just don't think the professional tournament series is close right now. It's always going to be a bottom-up sport, which means we're going to grow from the local club level up, not the big clubs or the big national trails down. And those are going to keep booming. People are going to keep selling kayaks, and you know, the sport's going to grow and grow and grow and grow. But it's going to take a while to push enough people up to get on that pro level. I think we're 3 to 5 years from someone even trying to do it. Probably 10 years from it being done right. Now, I hope I'm wrong. I hope somebody can figure out a way to pull this off in the near term, where I'm still young enough to try to do it, or try to qualify for it anyway. But that's my opinion. I think we're a ways off from the pro series, but I do think kayak fishing's in a good spot. Let me know your thoughts. Put them in the comments. If you like the video, hit that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell. As always, appreciate y'all. Talk to you later.